President Trump is vowing to get to the bottom of that massive $9 billion fraud scandal in Minnesota. He's surging federal resources to the state, and HHS is freezing child care payments in all 50 states.
We want to take back our country. Can you imagine? They stole $18 billion. That's just what we're learning about. That's peanuts. In California is worse, Illinois is worse, and sadly New York is worse. A lot of other places. So we're going to get to the bottom of all of it. It was a giant scam. Other than that, we're going to have a great new year. Actually, I view that as a reason for a good new year, because we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to get that money back.
But the left would rather attack the messenger than tackle the fraud. Journalist Nick Shirley says he's received death threats for reporting on the alleged Minnesota fraud.
Have you gotten any threats, like actual death threats?
Yeah, well, in person and also.
Can you tell me about that? Like, are they messaging you saying, we're going to get you? What are they saying to you?
Yeah, like they're saying, oh, like, kirked. You're going to be kirked.
You're going to be kirked. That's what they're saying to you.
Yeah, like you're the next, you'll be the next Kirk. Why are you guys coming after somebody for going against fraud? Like, I didn't make this a right or left issue. I just showed you guys that fraud was happening.
And Governor Walz seems to be dealing with fraud very seriously by posting this video on social media where he boasts about having wool socks on his hands.
Quick fact, fit check. Hope always says this. People ask, how do you run in this weather? Brooks Glycerins, Kraft windproof pants, Nike quarter zip thermal, Under Armour hat, great wool socks on both feet and hands, and just run. So Happy New Year.
So, Kat, who's winning this this PR fight right now? Is Tim Walz doing his fit check about wearing wool socks on his hands going to make all these questions go away?
No, I certainly don't think so. But I also think it really is just such a sad sign of the times that this has become an issue of PR to begin with, where it's like, who's winning this PR fight? This should be something we can all unite around, that this was bad. Like, it shouldn't have to be, oh, yeah, we found fraud. Okay, well, what about this other fraud that happened? It's like, why can't we all be mad? I mean, these were federal funds. This was all of our money. Why can't we all be, we allow the two parties, we allow them to kind of control us in the sense of like, okay, well, I can only be mad about stuff that happened that the other team did. And it shouldn't be like that. If you're a Democrat, including Tim Walz, should be mad about this. He should have been like, oh, missed this one, instead of like, oh, well, this wasn't that bad. Or that nobody should be minimizing this, because taxpayer money is our money, and you get gaslit when you question these programs where it's like, oh, I don't know about this program if it's got kids involved, or it's like, oh, you want people to starve, or you don't care. It's like, no, maybe I just have questions about the way it's being enacted, or people say that you're selfish for, oh, I pay so much in taxes. I wouldn't care about how much I paid in taxes if I thought that this money was actually going to help people. My issue is that I simply do not believe that that is the case, because I walk around on the streets and it looks like a lot of people need a lot of help that aren't getting any help.
Yeah, it's not a point of believing or not believing, it's knowing.
Absolutely.
You know it's
correct.
Kennedy, Kat raised a really important point that I know that we're all passionate about. Why, I think maybe people would be less confused about what you're talking about if we didn't have to launder all of these federal tax dollars through Washington, D.C. to get them to Minnesota. If Minnesotans want to take care of children from Somalia or wherever in their neighborhoods, then why can't the taxes just be local, and then the people that are responsible for spending the money are responsible locally? But it just all gets laundered through D.C.
Why is a welfare state implicit in immigration in this country? It absolutely should not be. And these governors of the states that the president was talking about, whether it's Minnesota or California or Illinois, they swear an oath to the Constitution, to uphold and defend the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution. So those federal tax dollars that are emanating from the place where the Constitution lords over, they are turning a blind eye to the fact that what they are seeing is essentially free money is being laundered and going to God knows where. I mean, it starts with some of these meal and housing programs and, some of the daycare facilities. But that's where it ends. And that's the problem with massive government, is you have so much bureaucracy and so many layers that it becomes so big and so vast that no one is able to employ any oversight at some point. And so you have people who, like a magnet, are attracted to these corrupt systems because they know they can absolutely milk this spigot for as much unaccountable money as they can possibly get their hands on. And then we don't know what becomes of it. All we know is Ilhan Omar started with anywhere between $25,000 and negative $65,000 when she came into office in 2018. And now her husband, who is not her brother, is sitting on $30 million, according to New York Post reporting, with businesses that run out of D.C. WeWork. That is quite a phenomenal return on investment. And, you know, we'll see where these investigations go, but I don't think it's going to be necessarily positive.
Yeah, these spigot milkers. Richard, earlier you were talking about how you're concerned about the cost of childcare. Where is the normal liberal Democrat outrage over this when Democrats talk the loudest about caring about these people, about caring about educating children and feeding people from a third world country? Where's the outrage?
I mean, I'm outraged. I think, and I hope they get the fraudsters. And let's be very clear: this investigation against this particular organization, what is it called, Feeding Our Future, has been going on since 2022. It started under the Biden administration. The executive director and founder of this organization, Amy Brock, a Caucasian, non-Somali woman from Apple Valley, Minnesota, has been found guilty of these charges, along with others. I think we've done a lot of scapegoating here of the Somali community. A lot of folks have been. You brought up. We heard of Ilhan Omar. We heard about Somali children.
Well, because
and we
Ilhan
haven't heard about
Omar
the. Hold on, wait a minute.
Started the program.
This is about.
This some of the people that have been arrested were donors to Ilhan Omar.
This particular
and Tim
Feed
Walz.
Our Future was founded by Amy Brock. But let me continue.
Was she the only person involved in?
She's the executive director and founder of the program. But allow me to continue. And yet there's a lot of scapegoating and blame to go on. And now the Trump administration has frozen early childhood dollars and Head Start dollars to every state in the country.
So that we can make sure that it is
I
going
didn't interrupt anybody,
okay.
including places like Mississippi, Alabama, and West Virginia. As folks get ready to go back to work, they're going to have to deal with shortages in childcare workers. They're going to have to deal with potential Head Start centers closed because those federal dollars are needed not yesterday, not tomorrow. They're needed today to keep those centers open.
So fraud has consequences.
Well, yes, they have consequences. People have nothing to do with it.
So I want to get Paul in here.
People are being scapegoated.
As a
That's
cop,
problematic.
Paul, I would think that the first thing you'd want to do is stop the bleeding before, and then getting to the bottom of who stole what.
Yeah, my understanding is there are about 16 at the least federal investigations ongoing. And the Leering Center, by the way, had been something else and was closed and then reopened. The majority of the people being investigated are Somali. So let's just recognize that. Although there is this front that apparently one woman is ubiquitous across and they're going to get her.
She's already been gotten, by the way.
And they're going to get, again, they're going to get them. The whole thing is a massive RICO. And I got to just go right to it here. The Democrat politicians over there are complicit. They used our money to buy these guys for their votes. We paid for it. Minnesota, you owe us money, all right? That's the bottom line here. And the other thing is this. Treasury is going to be the thing that really comes to bear here. Bessent, apparently those guys are on it. They control the movement of money and terrorist finance. That's their job. That means any banks, any money remitters that sent money overseas, and there's going to be a lot of them, who with all of these people, look, it's out of a mailbox that they ran this business. It's out of a WeWork. Yeah, but you know what they had? Bank accounts. That's Treasury. They've already said they're looking into it. When they start looking at that, they're going to see the money going to al-Shabaab. That's what Treasury is supposed to stop. If you're a banker or somebody else in Minnesota who's been doing this stuff and moving the money overseas and turning a blind eye, you're looking at literally billions in potential fines. You could put them literally at, when Treasury comes down on you, it's 6, 7 figures. Watch that happen here, because that's the only thing that's going to stop it. Follow the money.
Welcome to the collective.
But Paul, why should kids suffer in Mississippi while this
You're
is
right.
happening
Well,
in
you know what?
Minnesota?
It's because we all hate kids, of course.
I'm just asking.
Because if you
That's what's
actually
happening.
care about the children, you're going to make sure that it's the money for them isn't
How
getting
How about American kids as opposed to kids in Mogadishu?
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.